Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Rob from Southern Wells. Today I'm going to talk a little bit more about putting our exterior polymerized tung oil finish on some furniture that we've had for 21 years.
22 years, actually. Technically.
Technically 22 years. And this is an Australian teak. Over the years, this was left outside, shade, sunlight, but pretty much left outside all year round. We started protecting it probably about 5 years ago more, but every couple of years I did put an oil on it, but in the past 3-4 years I've been putting the exterior polymerized tung oil on it.
So are we hoping that this is gonna look like new, bring it back to life? Because it's pretty dry looking now.
It is really dry looking, and sort of if we look at it, we can see that there is residual finish from previous coats. So you can see what it sort of looks like. It's supposed to have this brownish, purplish color to it. So, and then you can see the top, which is definitely more UV damage, as well as just exposure to rain and so forth. So something like this, this is more of a maintenance coat than it is a fresh coat. And a maintenance coat like this, you just want to make sure that there's no lichen or moss on it. If there is, you're going to have to kill that first with TSP and bleach or any exterior grade cleaner. And if you did that, now you're left with sort of dirt, pollen, things like that you can scrub off, you can brush off using either, you can use steel wool.
I thought you shouldn't use steel wool outside.
Well, you can use steel wool if you're aware of how much steel wool you're leaving behind. Because if you leave steel wool in the finish, it's going to rust. So
is
that's
there
why
an
they're
alternative?
synthetic. These are synthetic pads.
Yep.
It's a 3M makes this, but this is an older piece that I had sitting around for a while. And then this is a dust brush, and I just make sure that there's no dirt on it. And it doesn't have much. This we actually did have in a shed over the winter, so there's less stuff on it. So something like this, I'm going to want to start from the bottom and work my way up. And I can use sort of my roller and brush technique. This is a 4-inch foam roller, which I can use to apply just real quick to get finish on the parts.
But Rob, all the bubbles.
All the bubbles, yep. I've got about 20 minutes until this starts to really kind of kick.
And so is that sort of tack time faster in the sun than it is?
Totally faster. That's why we're sitting here in the shade.
Okay.
To make sure that it's not drying out too fast, because I am being a little risky right now, but I know I'm in the shade, and I know I'm going to have time to kind of brush this all out and spread it all evenly.
Yep. And what about that? Looks like some bird poop on the leg here. What are you going to do about that?
Well, the bird poop, again, if these had a lot of dirt and a lot of debris on it, or things like bird poop or anything else that might come from the outside, you can clean the whole thing with that TSP mix, or you can scrub it
Oops.
into the finish. Where is that? There it is.
So you're gonna show everybody how to scrub
So
the Clarabelles?
I took my little 3M pad, I put a little finish on the end.
But if there was a lot of it, you would actually do like
I would clean the
you
whole
would clean
thing.
the whole thing with a TSP.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you know, this is just kind of blending in a little bit of imperfections, or sometimes there could be a stain, and you're just kind of using the finish and the scrubby to sort of spread it around a little bit. So, all right, now I'm just going to back brush it off. So make sure, and it's a dry brush. I didn't put any product on here first. Now I'm just spreading around everything I put on with that roller.
And so this is Clarabelle's. You want to talk about using Clarabelle's and why you chose Clarabelle's over our exterior medium product? I mean, because the exterior medium would do pretty much the same thing, right?
Exterior medium would do the exact same thing. It's just the amount of tongue oil that's in the finish. Our Clarabelle's has a little less tongue oil in it than the medium, but there are times where, especially outdoor stuff, it's really dry, and sometimes you want a little less tongue oil and a little more thinner to be able to absorb in.
And what does that do for the wood?
It helps condition the wood beyond just the top layer.
Okay.
You're ending up having sort of a finish that's going deep down into the wood and helping sort of consolidate all those fibers in the wood.
So but doesn't the medium do that as well?
The medium will do it. All the tongue oil does it.
Okay.
I think it's just a matter of how much finish you want to have left behind.
So that affects the gloss level.
And yeah, so that's the difference between our medium and our
Clarabelle's.
sealer and
Yeah.
Clarabelle's. Is just really how much tongue oil is going to be left behind after I'm done either wiping, spraying, brushing, all the different ways that we leave.
And that's what creates the envelope. So when we talk with Sutherland Wells, we talk about how raw tongue oil is really good at absorbing, but polymerized tongue oil absorbs into the wood, saturates the wood pores, but also builds an envelope. So it's doubly protective.
Yep, that's right. And so if we look at everything I just put on, nothing is dripping. If we lift this up,
You missed a spot.
oh, how dare you.
Right over here.
So again, I didn't dip more in with this brush. I just still see there's some coming off this brush. So now if we look at, you know, I don't have a whole ton of finish underneath here. And I can also touch things up from the top that we see. Some other spots that I might have missed right there. And I will go back into my bucket and put some on the brush.
It's really cool to see what's happening on this side where you can actually, where it was, you know, the top of it's really dry, and what Clarabelle's is doing to the really dry parts of the wood. I'm excited to see that.
Some activity.
Oh yeah.
So
Please excuse all the dogs in our neighborhood as they start barking.
So yeah, so you can really see and the way this top changes color. See, this is where I'm gonna have to be careful it drips. It's really gonna drip down in there. But you see how fast this is drinking it up?
It wants a lot of oil.
It wants a lot of oil.
So
Very
how do we
thirsty.
make sure that we give it enough oil?
I just keep going on top until it tells me it's done. You know, I mean, I don't want to put so much on. You can see there's a lot dripping down here right now, but you know, I just want to keep this top wet for the next 10 minutes
While it absorbs. So
absorbs.
if you notice an area that's like sucking it up really quickly, you're going to put more on that area.
Put more on.
Let's see if we find an area that's going to do that.
This is tough just because there's a lot of creases where, see, this is where I want to be careful and not have too much product on, because then it's just going to be dripping all over the place and it's going to be a gummy mess. I could already see that I have way too much on here.
So what are you going to
So,
do?
you know, I can let it set for a little bit, or I can take some finish out of the brush. like that. Sometimes I can just go into another part and get it off like that. But I want this dry, so now I'm just moving around
What's on there? And you're not adding
what's on
to
there,
it.
and I'm not adding anything to it, you know. So I'm actually using the brush to help almost mop up the mess, you know, and make sure that I'm not leaving too much on there.
Oh, and I'm gonna come in close because I wanna. Are you gonna wipe it?
There's not much to wipe.
Okay. I just want to come in close so people can see the difference between the treated wood and the untreated wood, and how the table looks so much better with the finish on it.
Yeah, those browns really came back.
Yep. So are we gonna do 2 coats of this? Like, we're gonna let it dry and then we're gonna put another coat on?
Yeah, I would say at least 2 coats on the top.
Yep.
You know, the bottom, you know, it might have enough on the bottom because it's not getting the same exposure.
Yep.
So I might just have to hit another from the top
Okay.
tomorrow.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.